As we wait to learn more about new requirements set to start in state government workplaces, the steps local leaders are considering to keep people safe and get more people vaccinated. Years after his death, one of the first steps in the trial in the murder of Officer J.D. de Guzman.
We had rain, we had thunderstorms, we had it all for the morning commute. We're going to see activity pick up again this afternoon. For parts of the county, I'll pinpoint where flash flooding will be a concern. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Thank you for joining us. We start with some breaking news. You're looking live as the governor announces some new statewide measures implementing a vaccine verification system for all state workers. Let's listen.
A real societal cost. We need to be more clear about that, and we need to call that out. And so we are doing just that in our state, and increasingly we're seeing that with leaders of all political stripes across this country, and that is indeed encouraging. And so it's in that frame and that spirit of some optimism about our capacity to deal with this. We can deal with this disease in a month.
Let's bring you up to speed on what the governor has been saying in the last 15-20 minutes or so. The program would require state workers to verify they have been vaccinated, and they have to do that by next week or else submit to regular testing. The Department of Health and Human Services says this program will keep state workers safe and the government running. Now, this applies not just to state employees, but also healthcare workers in facilities in California, too. Health officials are encouraging private employers to take similar measures. We're going to have more details on the governor's announcement coming up later in this hour, so stay with us for that. Meanwhile, San Diego is seeing a trend similar to the rest of the state. Heading into the weekend, the county reported 1,200 new daily cases. County statistics show in the last month, about 90% of new cases involve people who are not fully vaccinated. The city's Committee on COVID-19 Response and Recovery is meeting right now. One of the items on the agenda is how to get more young people vaccinated. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie joins us live now with an update on what's going on there. Mary?
Yeah, the county's Health and Human Services Agency was the first one to give an update in this committee meeting, Virginia, and the spokesperson said that the Delta variant is a gold medal winning spreader.
So if you think, well, I just have a cold, I just have a headache, I just have a sore throat, those are some of the most common symptoms in this Delta variant.
County Health and Human Services Agency spokesperson Dr. Jennifer Tudor specifically said we have a lot of work to do to get our kids vaccinated, especially as we look to the fall and the return to school. Tudor went through the latest data, especially the latest alarming number, showing more than 1,200 new cases as of Friday, the highest number since February. Dr. Jennifer Campbell, one of the committee chairs, asked if there was a threshold at which the county would consider mask mandates. Tudor said they were considering all of the latest data, but no decision on a mandate was forthcoming. Campbell pointed out that the current case numbers and the number of outbreaks would have moved us back into the purple tier if that system still existed. Then they moved on to preparing for the school year with an update from SDUSD on its roadmap to return this fall. They got input from the Sweetwater districts, where students are already back in school, with what they're doing. The COVID-19 Response and Recovery Committee is also discussing equity, both with the response and with vaccinations, and talking about the latest with outdoor dining, the effort to get restaurants into compliance with applicable fire and city codes. The meeting is still going on right now. There was one suggestion from Council Member Elo Rivera about particularly targeting, working with youth groups and finding sites to open up pop-up vaccine sites that would particularly appeal to young people in an effort to get those groups into a higher rate of vaccination. Reporting live from City Hall, Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Mary. San Diego, so considering its next steps after we told you the latest California measures, which include a vaccine verification program for state workers. Now, this is coming as cases rise across the country. Now, the CDC and the White House are also weighing what to do next. ABC's Rena Roy has the details.
As COVID-19 takes its hold on this country once again, we could soon see new mask guidelines. Dr. Anthony Fauci saying the administration is considering revising mask guidance for fully vaccinated people, but telling CNN local authorities should make the call.
The CDC agrees with that ability and discretion capability to say, you're in a situation where we're having a lot of dynamics of infection, so even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask.
With the highly contagious Delta variant tightening its grip, the three largest school districts, New York, LA, and Chicago, requiring masks for students. Nearly 60% of U.S. adults are fully vaccinated, but cases have skyrocketed 314% since mid-June, and hospitalizations are up by nearly 40%. Florida recording 73,000 new cases last week, an average of more than 10,000 per day, now accounting for 1 in 5 cases in the U.S. Nationwide, more than 27,000 patients are being treated for COVID in the hospital. Most are not vaccinated.
Right now, we're generating about 50,000 Americans getting infected. That number could easily double or triple.
This healthcare worker in Alabama urging people to get their shots.
For me personally, I've never been as frustrated professionally as I am right now.
The White House and CDC reporting about 790,000 vaccinations nationwide over the weekend, possibly the biggest 24-hour period since early July. Dr. Fauci has suggested that booster shots may be necessary for people with weaker immune systems, saying if that third dose is officially recommended by federal officials, they'd be some of the first in line to get it. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
This is new this morning. Jury selection will begin today for the man accused of killing San Diego police officer Jonathan J.D. de Guzman. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons joins us live from downtown. So, Jared, where do things stand right now?
As of about an hour ago, Virginia, lawyers still hadn't brought any prospective jurors into the courtroom, but we did get a peek into the jury waiting room. There are hundreds of people in there, any one of whom could be picked for what should be a very high-profile murder trial. Wednesday will mark exactly 5 years to the day since de Guzman was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop in the Southcrest neighborhood. His partner, Wade Irwin, was also shot in the neck but survived. Now, Jesse Michael Gomez faces a litany of charges, including murder, attempted murder, and also a special allegation of murder of a police officer. He faces the death penalty. ABC 10 News spoke with de Guzman's wife, Jane, back in 2017. She told us about their last moments together.
And the last word I heard to him is, I love you and I love you too. I think that's the most important thing you have to say to someone.
Because you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
During that interview, the de Guzman family also told us to thank the community for all of its support since the shooting. They say it's the only way they've been able to get through this tough time. As for the trial, jury selection could take as much as a week, and the district attorney's office says the trial may last as long as 2 months. Live downtown, Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Jared. Well, we had quite the eventful morning when it comes to rain, and you're saying that it's not out of the area yet.
That's right. So there's a few little light showers here or there. The bulk of the rain has moved out. However, if you live in the mountain and desert areas in particular, we're going to see activity picking up again as we head into this afternoon and evening. It's pretty gloomy out there as we look at the gray skies and a building in La Jolla. Thunderstorm activity is targeting the San Bernardino area right now, but you can see the line of rain that kind of goes all the way down towards Orange County. This is all part of one system that moved through earlier here locally, which did bring rain, led to a slow commute for many areas this morning, and even some thunderstorms in the mountain and desert areas. But right now on Pinpoint Doppler Live, maybe just some drizzle, a few sprinkles here or there, but for the most part, things are drying out. Rainfall totals so far for the last 24 hours, pretty impressive in some areas. Palomar Mountain over an inch of rain, Verona just over half an inch, even Santee picking up a few hundredths of an inch. And we are going to see that chance for rain picking up this afternoon. I'm going to highlight that using 10 News Futurecast in your full forecast. Virginia?
Thank you, Megan.